If you've ever felt like eating better, healthier, exercising has become your whole personality, today is for you. I think our society gets confused a lot on what's healthy and what's not, and when does it become an obsession that leads to disordered eating, disordered thinking, and just a bad relationship with food in our body. Now, today's episode was originally inspired by a question that I had written in about how to not let food, eating better, becoming skinny, turn into your entire existence or identity. This woman was 34 and she feels like she's lived her entire life living and breathing this, which has created a lot of resistance and lack of self-trust. So she wanted to know, how can I focus on being healthy without the obsession on being better all the time? And if we think about how society views being healthy, sometimes it can go to the extremes in both ways, where sometimes we label having no rest days and pushing yourself every single day in the gym on a run, that's healthy when it's not. I remember when I was in college at my local gym, they did a challenge to give someone a prize at the end of the month for whoever went to the gym the most and the longest. And they later removed that challenge because they realized they were creating a very disordered environment where people were going to the gym for like 6 hours a day every day to try to win this challenge. So that's an example of how sometimes we think, oh, it'd be good to work out 24/7 and always push ourselves, but it's not. Our body needs rest. And on the other side, sometimes society says things are unhealthy when they're actually very healthy, such as saying no to sugar. We might think of that as restrictive and obsessive when that can actually be a very healthy, loving decision for ourselves. So this gray area can get kind of muddled on how can I care about my health and well-being without it turning into like an eating disorder or something that is just taking over your life. So the signs that your health focus has crossed into obsession is if you think about food, workout, or your body most of the day. If you feel anxious or guilty when you're not doing it, quote, right. If your mood depends on how you ate or exercise, is heavily influenced by those things. If rest feels lazy unless it's earned through a lot of movement. It's important to see here that obsession isn't about how healthy the behavior looks. It's about how much mental real estate that behavior takes up. Health is not just about the actions you are taking. It is about how you think while you are doing those actions. If you are stressed and anxious all of the time when you're trying to be healthy, you're not going to have good results in your health because stress is extremely taxing on your body too. Research has shown that time and time again that you can do all of the appropriate traditional healthy things, but when your nervous system is all out of whack, none of those things are actually going to work long term. So why does being healthy sometimes turn into obsession? Here's a few of the core reasons. Diet culture rewards control, not trust. We have learned through diets that our body does not have the answers and that we need to pay someone else or get a meal plan for someone else or create all these rules in order to know how to eat. And that's just not true. We already have the wisdom inside of us. It's learning how to return back to that wisdom. But through this message, we've become scared to trust our bodies. We think that if we trust our bodies, we're going to gain weight, we're going to get diabetes, all of these things. Now, a big thing I hear from a lot of people is they think, well, Amber, I've tried trusting my body. I've tried listening to my body, and I always just end up overeating. If that is happening to you, you have not been actually listening to your body. You've probably been listening to your brain, which has a lot of ingrained habits from your years of binge eating. That is not the same as listening to your body. Your body is probably telling you it's full, it's uncomfortable, it doesn't want to keep going, but it's your mind that tricks you into thinking that you do. Many people have also learned that their self-worth came from discipline, productivity, or being, quote, good. If this is you, it feels like you're doing something wrong if you're not striving to always be the best, to always accomplish the most, that you're not going to be worthy or loved if you don't achieve your goal of going to the gym every day. And so that's where rest can feel like I'm being lazy. Or when you try to let go of your strict calorie count of 1,500 calories a day, it feels like you might be going off track because you're not using strict measures of your success anymore. So health starts to become this way to feel safe, in control, and enough, even when it often creates more fear, feelings of out of being control, and feelings of being not enough. And if you've struggled with binge eating, restriction, or body image in the past, your brain is always on alert around food. It's always looking for, are we eating enough today? Are we eating too much? It never knows what's coming in, so it leads to more obsession. Obsession is often a protective strategy. It is not a flaw. Your brain thinks it's keeping you safe and being helpful. You become obsessive because you think that is what's necessary to get to where you want to go and achieve your goals, such as losing weight, having more energy, feeling more confident. Obsession is the normal result when we are unclear what to do or confused about a situation. I'll repeat this again. Obsession is the normal result when we are unclear what to do or confused about a situation. And I go in depth into a concept called intermittent reinforcement, which is what drives obsession in episode 88. So if you haven't listened to that, that is one of my core episodes, I would say, that is so important to understand so you can see why you start to feel this obsession around food. Think about when someone is in a dating situation where they're not really sure if the person likes them back or not. I know I've been in this situation before, maybe you have too, where you're unclear about the situation and you're confused about it. Are we dating? Are we not dating? Does he like me? Does he not? That creates a deeper obsession around that person because your brain is trying to figure out what's going on. And we imagine that if we think about the situation more, we'll find the answers. We think that if we just think about food more, maybe I'll figure out how to finally eat. I'll just listen to more podcasts. I'll read more books. I'll make my whole life and hobby into how to stop dieting and how to start dieting and how to lose weight, whatever it is for you. But that only leads to more anxiety and overwhelm. Thinking about food more than you already are is not going to help you stop obsessing over it. This is why in my Confident Eater program, I give you a very clear step-by-step process of exactly what you need to do and in what order to stop binge eating. Even listening to podcasts, as great as they are, they're just random things to do and random ideas that can continue to leave you overwhelmed and wondering what step you should take today. So when you have step 1, 2, 3 through 6 of exactly what you need to do each month in order to get to your goal of becoming a normal eater, it makes life so much easier. Think about if you just Googled how to be healthy. How many different things would come up? There would be tens of thousands of supplements you could choose from, types of workouts you could do, different exercises you could try, tests you could take for your health. There would be a lot, right? And if you told yourself, I want to do everything I can, everything possible to be as healthy as I can, you would feel obsessed because there would be so many options. So that's why it's so important to be very clear on what is my specific goal around food and health and choosing to take the specific actions related to that goal and ignoring everything else. We can't do it all at once. We can do it all eventually. We can achieve everything we want, but we can only do so much now today. And so we need to narrow in what is my most important goal right now that I am working on today and only allowing that to be your most important goal until you achieve it. And then you can move to your next health goal. That's going to help you not feel so obsessive around it. If you are currently binge eating, that is the number one skill you need to conquer first because you cannot do things like optimizing your hormones or healing your gut health while you're continuing to binge. That will just ruin everything else. So the first step has to be tackling your relationship with food and healing that before you can address any other aspects of your health. Most of you are way overcomplicating eating. Eating is actually very simple and it's made to be simple. It's made to be enjoyed. It's meant to be something that's fun, but something that we do and then we can just move on with our life. And that's how food is for me now. It is not beneficial for our survival to obsess over food all day long, right? We need to have some focus on it so we feel desire to go eat food, otherwise we would also waste away and die. But having an obsession with food will take away from other vital survival activities. So it is ingrained in our brain to, yes, desire food up to a certain point, but once we are full, once we are satisfied, we shouldn't be thinking about food anymore. There are billions of healthy people around the globe that eat differently. There's people that eat differently in Asian countries versus in Africa, and there is no one way of eating. Lots of different people can be healthy from all of these varieties of things and different habits because there's a lot of different ways to be healthy. But when we spend time obsessing over what's the perfect way to eat, what's the perfect way to optimize our health, that's when we actually become so stressed and overwhelmed that nothing else gets done and we don't really live the life that we want to live. The whole point of getting healthy is to be happy, to enjoy our life deeper. And if we're not able to enjoy our life deeper because of our healthy habit, then they're not very healthy. I hear people who have come to me from other coaches who are having to track every morsel of food they eat. In MyFitnessPal, they have to follow a strict meal plan or they have to write down what they eat 24 hours in advance. These are all training wheel strategies. They can help you start riding the bike, but they're not going to help you become a master and go into a bike race. You have to learn how to trust yourself and your body and the skills that you need to do that if you want to be someone who can just go out to a restaurant without having to look up the menu ahead of time, or go travel without having to make a meal plan when you come back because you're so stressed about how you're going to get back on track. It can be helpful to pre-think your meals and to decide what you're going to make for the week, because that's just part of being human. Like, I'm not saying you cannot do that. I definitely set an intention for the week of, here are the meals that I want to make. Here's the groceries I need to buy. That is all normal. But I also trust myself to make an eating decision that feels amazing 10 seconds before I eat. I know that I can sit down and just say, what do we have in the fridge today? Decide something, eat in a way that feels good, and then move on and feel great. That's a skill I want you to have too. However you create your results is what you need to do to maintain your results. If you are taking something like a GLP-1 to lose weight, you are going to need to continue doing a GLP-1 to lose weight, because how you create your results is what you need to do to maintain your results. I see this happening with a lot of people who think that I will just do this quick fix real quick. I'll take Ozempic, do this quick diet, I'll do the meal plan, I'll work with a personal trainer. And then once I finally get off the weight and I'm there, everything will be good and I can stop it. I'll finally be at my dream weight. But slowly what starts to happen is the weight starts creeping back on. Because if you lost the weight on a GLP-1, you'll have to keep taking it in order to keep getting those results. So consider for yourself, is how I'm creating health right now the way I want to create health forever? If not, it's not sustainable. It's something we need to change. The key difference between if something such as calorie counting is a healthy habit or an obsession is looking at, how does this behavior make me feel? Healthy habits are supposed to make your life feel better, not worse. So if you feel anxious, fearful, rigid, urgent, all or nothing, that is not going to last. It's not sustainable. A healthy focus feels like something that is calm, relaxed, flexible, adjustable, and supportive of your life. So some concrete examples of this, let's say around food. An obsessive thing would be always needing to track what you eat, restricting because you overate, spiraling for hours over one meal. Whereas a healthy focus is thinking ahead about what you might want to have for dinner, eating in a way that fuels your body most of the time, joining a coaching program where you know you're going to have the exact steps of what you need to do each week to actually start to change these habits. With exercise, an obsession is needing to burn, earn, or undo food that you've eaten and never allowing yourself a rest day. A healthy focus would be doing movement that supports your energy and mood, which sometimes mean, yes, taking a day off, doing nothing, laying on the couch. With rest, an obsession is only resting when we've hit burnout mode, when we're exhausted, when we're sick, we can't get up out of bed. Whereas a healthy focus is giving yourself little breaks throughout the day, going for a walk just because you think it sounds nice, taking a nap one day, resting because you're human without guilt. So with any healthy habit, it starts to become an unhealthy obsession when it starts to have a net negative impact on your life instead of a net positive. So yes, while something like counting calories in your head or through an app might make you feel a little better temporarily, I want you to think about if that contributes to your overall peace as a whole. Because if not, whatever control you feel like it's giving you right now is costing you more than it's worth. When setting a goal, I want you to always come from this place of enoughness. I am enough just as I am right now. Whether I hit this 50-pound weight loss goal or not has nothing to do with my worth. Because when we say I need to lose 50 pounds by the summer, so I feel like my husband loves me again, so I can finally feel confident enough to go in the pool with my kids, so I can finally buy myself clothes that actually somewhat fit, that's when it becomes disordered. And we often resort to more disordered actions to get to that place. So we can instead say, I have this goal to lose 50 pounds. We don't need to change the goal. Remember, the goal is not the problem, usually. The goal of losing 50 pounds is not obsessive. It's how you're thinking about that goal. So if you think of that goal from this place of enoughness and worthiness of, I am deserving of love just the way I am right now. I deserve to be happy right now. I deserve to go in the pool with my kids right now. And I still have this desire to lose 50 pounds because I want to be able to be there for my grandkids when I'm 80 years old, still running around, because I don't want to end up with prediabetes or diabetes like my mom, because I want to model a healthy relationship with food to my kids for generations to come and break that diet cycle. That is your reason that you want to set your healthy eating goal. And that's what will help you stay away from the obsession. So some final reflective questions for you. I want you to take a stock of all your healthy eating habits and ask yourself, could I skip this or eliminate this rule without spiraling? Would I be able to adjust this without guilt? Is this helping me grow my life or shrink it? Do I live deeper because of this or avoid life because of these eating habits? You don't need to try less or care less around your health. That's not the point. You need a different relationship with caring. Health does not require obsession, punishment, or constant fixing. I am in the best shape of my life right now. With the most muscle, I am pretty lean. I'm very happy with my body, and I have been the past couple of years, but I have done all of this without being obsessive, while being able to build a business, while being able to show up for my friends, my families, having other relationships, other goals. Everything works better when you lead with trust, not fear.